Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Midweek War. We are here. I'm Mad Mike. We're here to talk to Cruiserweight Classic. It is the go-home show to the live special, which is next weekend. It's going to be amazing. And because we have such a huge week of wrestling this week, tomorrow night we are doing the Midweek War Lucha Underground with special guest co-executive producer Krista Joseph. So we are foregoing all of the rankings tonight. And with me to help do that and to talk about the rest of this show is the voice of Inspire Pro Wrestling, Eamon Paton. How are you, sir?
I am happy about wrestling. I'm so happy right now. I want to talk about this show so badly.
It's pretty great. And with us is our friend in the mainstream media, and finally, my in real life friend, Matt Carlins. How are you, sir?
Thank God for this show. Thank God for this quaint, simple little wrestling show. Where things make sense. That should be the tagline for the Cruiserweight Classic. Cruiserweight Classic, where things make sense.
Yes, absolutely. And we all love making sense here. So we're going to do a word, and then we're just going to start talking about the show. Eamon, what will be your word for this week's Cruiserweight Classic?
My word is less of a word and more of a sound.
Is it the sound of a human being having both arms bent behind his back?
Oh God, no. Like one of those. Because that was my reaction tonight for a certain thing that happened that we'll get to in a bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Matt, how about you? What was your word / sound effect?
Friends.
Aw. We'll be there for you.
They love to beat each other up.
We'll be there for you, Matt. My word is chalk. Chalk.
Okay.
I disagree.
Chalk.
I disagree.
Chalk. All right. So let's get into it. The first match we had was a little guy by the name of Zack Sabre Jr.
I love it. I love it.
Sabre, like the hummus?
I love his hummus.
I know. Zack Sabre Jr. going up against Noam Dar.
This was really good.
Holy. All right. Can I say what my favorite thing about this match was?
Uh-huh.
It was not even the finish. The end of the match where Zack Sabre Jr. literally had to communicate without arms. That A, yeah, I know I won the match. You can't raise my arm right now. And 2, bring it in for a hug, big guy. Like he had to communicate those things without the use of his arms.
Zack Sabre, in his nickname, but Zack Sabre Jr. is kind of a wizard. Like he's like, I think he has literal magic.
You know what this was? All right. How familiar are you guys with the Harry Potter series?
Fairly.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd be 0.
Okay. There is a scene in the second movie. I'm going to go by movies because that's a little bit easier to look up. Okay. Where Harry Potter has all the bones removed from his arm.
Yes, I do remember that scene.
That is this. That is this, and it is both arms, and it is amazing.
Well, we'll get to before we get to the arm stuff. I
had to say it because it's so great, and it's my lower third. That's how much I loved it.
The one thing I think I love the most about this match, and I think more than any other, like one match this whole year, but particularly also in this tournament, it felt like a fight.
Yeah,
watch this match. It doesn't feel like choreographed or like even at the least choreographed of wrestling match still comes off with like, okay, I can see they're doing this and this and this to like get to this point. Like it was very much like it felt like they were just going at it. I felt it was almost like they had no plan and we're like, we're just gonna do this and we're gonna grapple and we're gonna do all this stuff. And it was amazing. It really was amazing.
There were a lot of flurries of just like rapid fire trying to grab one another and twisting, reversing, like things that you're told that the wrestlers are supposed to do this slowly so that the fans can kind of see what's happening. And Zack Sabre and Noam Dar are just like flying through all this stuff. rapid fire. The fans still were into it, obviously.
Yeah, I hate to say it, it's a stupid thing to like about a wrestling match, but it felt real. Like, it felt like a real fight. Like, it felt like, you know what I mean? It just came, like, because it didn't look completely, like, clean all the time. Like, there was one part, I think, where, like, Zack, like, misses a kick, like a roundhouse or whatever, like, completely whiffs it, and then, like, they roll into, like, something else. And it's really well done and really well executed. This is definitely Noam Dar's best match of the tournament.
And I did like that fact. I like that the matches on this week's show were so different, but both different and yet great in their own different ways. The match we'll talk about later, to me, was like remarkably crisp and just precise. Whereas this one, Zack Sabre and Noam Dar had all these nice rough edges and just kind of had this dirty feel to it, which was also awesome.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I particularly enjoyed was, and I'm not sure if it was exactly the true turning point and maybe the beginning of the end for Noam Dar, was when he briefly became disinterested in working on Zack Sabre's leg and started working on his arm. And Daniel Bryan like pounces on this. Why is he working on his arm? He's been working on his leg the whole match. And
well, because
it wasn't long after that the match was over, if my memory.
Well, also because it's perfect how they set that up with because Sabre injures his arm when Dar has him in the leg submission, and they just do a quick roll to the outside onto the floor, and the way Sabre lands, he lands on his elbow.
Yeah, he landed like right on his shoulder or elbow.
And I'll say this completely. I bought it. I bought that it could have been a legit injury.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because just the way he was talking to Drake, the referee, like, I bought that it could have been legit. Like, because sometimes you just roll out and you know, we've seen injuries happen for, like, you know, smaller stuff than that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and it played perfectly into the match. One of my underrated favorite spots was, I think Sabre went for like a running like uppercut, and Dar catches his arms into like a delayed backslide, which was
in midair.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
That was I honestly I thought that was gonna be the finish. I thought it was gonna be like one of the bigger upsets. I really thought that for a second.
Mm-hmm. And so let's get to the finish though. Sabre tries to lock in Dar with the submission he won in the first round with, which was the is that the Jim Break special? I think they mentioned.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically him with having the arm. It's kind of like almost like Pentagon submission in a way, except without the immediate snap. It's more of a submission hold. He traps the bottom arm and then uses his arms and pulls back on the other arm to kind of dislocate it out of socket. But the key is he can't lock it in because he has no arms, because his arms have been completely neutralized. So Sabre says, screw it, I'm going to use my legs to lock in the submission.
Oh my God, it was so good.
It was so... One, that gives me a wrestling nerd boner. Like, the idea that he couldn't use his arms, so he did his same submission hold, but with his legs, is so amazing to me. But also, watch it. I've watched it at least 20 times now. It is the grossest thing I've ever seen. The way Noam Dar's arm bends. It is disgusting.
I always like it when a match ends with a move that the entire crowd universally agrees, this has to be the end. You know, it's right. Never good whenever, like, you got your near falls, and believe me, we all love a good near fall. But even better is that decisive ending where, like, you know what? There's no shame. This is over right here. There's no way this is going past.
Yeah, we're like the entire arena is going, what? Or like for a pin that like everyone is counting 1, 2, 3. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
But it's like, no, and we don't blame you. You just dislocated your shoulder, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's got his legs wrapped around your arm, and you're being, he's basically trying to move your arms to the opposite shoulders.
And I didn't even notice this until watching it back. He just wrenches on the arm with his legs, and then to make sure, just to make perfectly sure, he starts headbutting the shoulder.
Yeah, I mean,
Because his arm was toast, and Zack Sabre Jr. knew this has got to be the end.
like,
Yeah,
okay,
that was great.
I've got
Good
the arm
touch.
back this far. Let's just use my head to repeatedly bash it into a shoulder
Won't
joint.
you just tap out right now? Yeah.
It was so good. It was so good. We say this, I think, every week, but this may be one of my favorite, definitely one of my favorite matches of the quarterfinals. Is up there. I would say top. I'd say top 5 in the whole tournament so far.
That's pretty good because
For a different reason. Like the selling, I think I loved in this.
And they even sold after the match too, which was nice.
Yeah.
Because you don't see that a lot of times. Like Zack Sabre Jr. literally told the ref not to raise his hand in victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he said, no, it's okay. I know I won. It's fine.
I'm not sure if it's one of my top 5 matches of the tournament or not, but I think it's interesting because I felt like to this point, like Zack Sabre Jr. had, I don't want to say been underwhelming, but when you come in as the best technical wrestler on the planet, that's a pretty high bar to get over.
Mm-hmm.
And this, at the end of this match, you're like, okay, I got you, buddy. You know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's like this match is where
sense that like, all right, now this is Zack Sabre Jr. So
yeah, like this match is where you get it if you hadn't gotten it before. I still don't know if I'm there on Noam Dar personally. I don't know. He seems. I mean, he's a great wrestler. He's a fabulous in-ring talent, but just I don't get a personality from him in the ring.
I guess I appreciated his selling in this match more than anything. Like the selling sold me on him. I think I would love to know more about him, and know more of his personality, because it seemed like he had like some cocky moments like towards the beginning, which I appreciated. Like I want more of that. Like be more of that guy, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think for how old is he? 23.
Yeah, I think so.
He's pretty amazing for 23.
Because the comment is he watched Brock Lesnar when he was 11, and he made him want to be a wrestler. And I'm usually the young one here, so if that makes these guys,
Yeah,
damn, we are all
feel like an old man.
We are all so old. We are all so damn old. But yeah. And Zack Sabre Jr. moving on, as we kind of predicted he would. So anything else from that match before we move on to the next one, you guys?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of these matches were great.
All right.
In their own unique ways. So.
Yeah. And speaking of the other match, we had T.J. Perkins and Rich Swann.
Let me tell you something. My favorite cruiserweight of all time, probably my favorite wrestler of all time, is Dean Malenko. I love Dean Malenko because he's so precise, and he's so just precise, and everything looks great, and was T.J. Perkins in this match for me. Like, everything looked perfect. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, just everything was so crisp and so fluid. I mean, Rich Swann, too, was amazing. There were points in this match where Swann and Perkins were moving so fast. Some of these back and forth little choreography early on.
Yeah.
But it looked great. They are just both super athletic, super quick in the ring. And it was awesome to watch. So, yes, while we had, the dirty wrestling of the Zack Sabre and Noam Dar, this one was just like, we're going all out. We're going to try to hit everything. And, they did. It looked great. Those two were made for one another in the ring.
Yeah, and I think it gave me a new appreciation for Rich Swann. Like, I love Rich Swann. But, like, going back to, I guess my word for this week should have been selling. Like, the selling of this match by Rich I thought was amazing. Because he's normally just known for his flips. Like, not a knock on him, but that's what he's kind of known for. And he was amazing in his selling of the leg in this. Like, just some of the ways he moved on things, like, differently. A lot like what I said with Perkins and Gargano. He moved differently.
Yeah, like he had to adjust for stuff.
Little stuff like when Brian
mentioned by the announcers too in this match too, when they were going on about Rich Swann changing up his game and he's doing more power moves because he lost the use of one of his legs.
Yeah, that really inspired me as like a commentator. Is like hearing Brian being like, he can't get enough pressure get down on his legs, so he couldn't get high enough on the tornado DDT like he normally does. And I'm like, that's so amazing. Like,
and it took what was kind of like, because you expect that tornado DDT to be like this huge near fall, and it didn't have that reaction from the crowd. And like Brian, just the way he calls it afterwards, kind of brings it all back together, and just like, you're worried like it's almost like there's this little crack in the reality, and Brian on commentary just kind of like patches it over real quick and just like right back into the moment.
That's one of my favorite things about what Brian and Mauro have been able to do on the commentary front, like for the whole tournament. I mean, Brian tends to get a little fanboy-y sometimes,
especially when Brian Kendrick is in the ring.
I would just say like throughout the whole, because he reminds me, and I watched this recently. It's that Brian and Mauro on commentary are very reminiscent of me when Mick Foley and Joey Styles did the first ECW One Night Stand.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch that show again, just listen to the commentary. Mick Foley is just very excited to be there, and Joey Styles is the one that's keeping everything grounded. Mauro and Brian have a similar dynamic, and it works, but you can still get a little bit too much of the, like, for lack of a better term, squeeing over things that Brian does.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that really enjoys that, because I don't know, that kind of stuff. I know people who don't like it, mainly because I'm a guy who has done that in the past, and I've been told before by people who don't like it. But I like it because, like, it makes me excited watching. Like,
oh yeah, like I mean, I like it to a point, but there's a point where you're excited, and then there's another point where you're Don West.
That's fair.
I mean, Grant. You watch TNA now, I'd kill for Don West.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But still, like there's a point where it's too much. And Brian, for me personally, sometimes he hovers that line, but he's been pretty consistent for the most part.
I mean, this whole concept is right in Mauro's wheelhouse because he's just sitting there calling fights, and Brian's strength from just being, just a technical in-ring genius is that he can make nearly anything in the ring make sense. So when you put those two guys together and then you give them matches that are this good, where there's like that are just this legitimate and it's so easy to just like fall into, and the selling is so good and the psychology is so good. I mean, it's just like such a simple formula.
Yeah.
Has Brian wrestled everyone in the Final Four now?
I don't know.
I don't think he's wrestled Metallic.
I don't even think he's wrestled Sabre.
No, I'm sure that had to have happened at some point.
I think they were like, I think by the time Sabre really broke out, Brian was already signed. Unless it was like a kind of underrated like match or something like that, like a match no one talks about. Like other than that, I don't think he's wrestled Sabre.
Huh. Okay. I thought he said at one point that he had wrestled Sabre.
Maybe. I feel like
no, there's a match of them from March 2008. Thank you, YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Actually, wow, they had a 30-minute Iron Man match apparently.
Yeah, because it probably was in the UK or something.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because when Sabre got big, Brian, I think was already signed. So.
Yeah, I think he was signed to Ring of Honor, not WWE.
Oh, okay,
yeah. But yeah. Oh, actually, that 30-minute Iron Man match is a video game, but there is an actual match with them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I think Brian's wrestled everyone except for maybe Grand Metalik. I don't think he's wrestled them.
Yeah.
But, so...
Also, going back to this match, TJ Perkins is going to be a bit of a spoiler in this tournament.
Definitely. He's the Cinderella.
I think a lot of people thought Johnny would advance, and I think a lot of people thought Rich would advance.
I don't know about that.
I definitely had the sense, just looking at the brackets, that when I kind of mocked out my bracket, I did have Rich Swann in the Final Four, so this was definitely a surprise to me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I expected Gargano, but once I saw what they were doing with Gargano and NXT, I kind of had a feeling that they're not going to advance him in the Cruiserweight. But I don't know. TJ Perkins seems like if you just gave like if not TJ Perkins, I say he would be like the 5 seed.
Yeah.
But like Coda, Grand Metallic, and Zack Sabre Jr. are all number 1 draft picks.
Right, totally.
They're all number 1 seeds. Like
I don't know, just something about it said like Rich had more of a ability to advance, I guess.
Well, he was
like,
on NXT before. Like he was a name people knew.
I mean, that was definitely a factor too, in that you would think that they would want someone who was from NXT on there.
Well,
but good for them. I mean, maybe this is going to be the start of something for Perkins. So.
Yeah, I like the idea of Perkins like being the guy that's like spoiling everybody, and I think that adds more intrigue to a match against Ibushi. Since Ibushi is the clear favorite, like what if TJ could beat him? Like,
wait, hold on. You think Ibushi's the clear favorite?
Well, he's one of the clear favorites.
Okay, because I was going to say.
Sorry, he's the clear favorite in Ibushi versus Perkins.
I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
As far as the Final Four go, it's a outside of Perkins, it's a 3-way coin flip for me at this point. I'm not really sure.
I'd be shocked if Perkins makes it to the finals, but again, I was a little bit shocked the last 2 matches he's had. So
now that we have the official Final Four, and next week we're getting the semifinals and the finals, shall we make predictions, gentlemen?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Grand Metallic.
I have no idea what that match looks like. That is the most styles contrast match of this entire tournament.
Would you say it's a styles clash?
Oh God. Let's not talk about that. No, based off of what I think the finals is going to be, this has a closer potential than the other semifinal, but I'm going to say Sabre. I think Sabre advances.
Okay. All right, Matt, how about you?
I got a feeling that Grand Metalik is going to beat Zack Sabre Jr. Every time I see Zack Sabre Jr. on the Indies, he's always losing to somebody. I know it doesn't matter in the Cruiserweight Classic, but it just sticks to me. Zack Sabre Jr. losing, he can be beat. Anyway, I think the potential for it's tough, but I think just the nature of what WWE is trying to do with this, and not knowing quite for sure if they're going to be able to get Sabre and or Ibushi under contract, I think that probably works in Metalik's favor. And I don't think it's necessarily the wrong choice anyways, because I think Metalik and Ibushi could be insane.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm kind of the decider on this since you guys are going both ways. I'm going to go Zack Sabre Jr. I just feel like there has been a finals match I've pictured in my head that I'm like, okay, looking at the bracket, there's matches I'd like to happen, but there's a match that I think that's going to happen, and I still think it's going to happen because those 2 guys are in the Final Four. So I'm going Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah. All right, now second match. We got TJ Perkins and Kota Ibushi. Eamon, who you got?
I gotta say Kota. Like I could get shocked, but I think it's got it. To me, Sabre Kota is the way to go for the finals. It seems, which that's gonna be baller. But yeah.
All right, Matt, how about you?
I'm gonna go with Kota Ibushi. I don't see any reason why not to. Now I'm trying to figure out if Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. have ever had a match together.
I don't think they've had a singles match before. I think they've, if I remember, WrestleMania weekend at the WWN Live Super Show, they were in a 6-man tag against each other. But other than that, I don't think they've ever wrestled one-on-one.
Okay.
I don't think that's ever happened. I just did a quick. Just Googled it real quick.
Actually, no. Actually, now that I think about it, Sabre wasn't even in the 6-man tag. So I don't think they've even ever wrestled in any match.
Okay.
I mean, I think they want to make that dream match. But like I said, I mean, I think who they can get under contract is going to play a role in this thing. I know we don't want it to, but.
I don't know about that necessarily.
I don't think – but here's the thing. I don't think – because I know Kota has said in interviews that he hasn't signed yet. I don't think Sabre's ruled out yet when it comes to if he signed or not. I think what I've heard is that he's going to sign, but he's going to sign later Like he's not going to sign at the same time some of the other people are being signed
because he doesn't want to get lost in the shuffle. It makes sense.
And also he's got like 2 belts he has to drop. Like he's got some obligations to make and stuff like that. So
obviously, yeah, don't they all? I mean, if Zack Sabre Jr. were here in the 4th window of this hangout right now, I would be like, dude, sign that developmental contract. What more could you possibly learn?
Yeah.
On the independents at this point, you're already the best technical wrestler on the planet. Go to the development center, work out every single day, at just a Scotia Mass, and pick up some tricks from William Regal, and you could be the guy who beats Nakamura. That could literally happen.
That's true.
So,
all right. I was gonna say Kota Ibushi, but you know what? And I want to go on record. I still think it's going to be Sabre versus Kota.
Mm-hmm.
But for the sake of prediction, to be devil's advocate, let's say TJ Perkins wins. I mean, Eamon, as you pointed out, he's been playing spoiler. I don't necessarily think him beating Rich Swann is as much of a spoiler, but him beating Gargano definitely was. So I will say that Perkins pulls the upset, and we get Perkins versus Sabre. I'm going with that.
okay,
I'm going with
All
that.
right.
All right, now the finals. Who do you guys got? Eamon.
I'm gonna say Sabre.
Okay. Matt.
I'll take Metalik.
All right, and I'm gonna say Zack Sabre Jr. too, because I have a feeling that when he signs, it's going to be like when Rey Mysterio signed over from WCW. Like it's gonna be a couple months after, but he's gonna make a big impact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the signing, like if they were using this to crown the first Cruiserweight champion,
That's a different story.
exactly, completely different story. Because I think you could have Zack Sabre Jr. finish his tour up as the winner of the Cruiserweight Classic, and does nothing but help WWE and gets more awareness to their product. And then you can bring him in afterwards once you have an established Cruiserweight division and you have a good champion, like let's say Neville, or like a really good Cruiserweight heel, like
Brian Catcher or something.
like a Tony Nese or something like that. And then you bring in Zack Sabre Jr. and you're like, so who's this guy claiming to be the best Cruiserweight in WWE? And boom, instant story.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of a nice thing, especially when you say Neville. That kind of gets my imagination going because you imagine that the cruiserweights, at least early on, that they'll be doing a lot of these high-flying matches and things like that, and you kind of set that up, and then you bring in Zack Sabre Jr., and he's unlike any of those other guys before.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But to play devil's advocate, how many belts is Zack Sabre Jr. carrying around right now that he has to drop?
He has 2 currently.
That's how many times he's going to have to lose. That's how many times the winner of your inaugural Cruiserweight Classic is going to have to go down on the Indies.
Oh, I think
I'm pretty sure they'll be okay with that.
yeah.
I'm fairly confident they'll be okay with that. Yeah. I mean, people got to drop belts.
Yeah.
People got to drop
At the
belts.
end of the
The
day-
only person that doesn't understand that is Bret Hart. People got to drop belts.
Or Shawn Michaels.
And at the end of the day, does Zack Sabre Jr. need to win the Cruiserweight Classic to be the best, to come in as the best technical wrestler on the planet?
No, not necessarily.
No, but if you have the trophy versus the championship, it sure makes one hell of a fight promo.
And then you build up to Sabre versus Lesnar at WrestleMania, and then Sabre wins, and then we all go home happy.
I thought we were doing Joe versus Lesnar. What happened to that?
We could do that too, but I like
Okay.
Guys,
I like the idea of like
guys.
MMA guy Brock Lesnar getting his arm broken by Zack Sabre Jr.
Guys, it's Nakamura versus Lesnar. Let's not mince words about this.
I guess.
It's Nakamura versus
The
Lesnar.
best part we're saying all of this, none of that's probably going to happen. Lesnar's going to wrestle Randy Orton for the next 10 years.
Oh no! Don't say that. That's poor
yeah.
Randy.
Oh yeah.
Poor Randy.
It's all Triple H and John Cena for Brock Lesnar. That's all he's getting.
Hey! He wrestled Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, well.
No, you know what? You know what it is? It's gonna be the best underrated worker that everyone talks about but no one sees. Ty Dillinger versus Brock Lesnar.
There you go.
The perfect 10 versus the Beast Incarnate.
If they did that at TakeOver, they should bring Brock in for TakeOver and have him fight Ty Dillinger. And watch that crowd completely turn on Brock Lesnar and cheer for Ty Dillinger for about 5 minutes. Maybe 4 minutes. See how long
Maybe 10 minutes.
Last.
Maybe.
Or do Lesnar Tozawa battle the German suplex. Since Tozawa has the actual better German suplex, Lesnar just does it a bunch and doesn't care where he lands people. That's the only difference in theirs.
Well, yeah, it's the I don't care if you die German.
Right, Tozawa actually executes his well, and that's like, yeah.
So I'm just curious, since next week is going to be the end of it, like, who's like been some of your favorite guys aside from like the Final Four? Who's been like your favorite guys in this tournament? Mike, I think I know for sure who one of yours has been.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say Cedric because him
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've given Cedric as much dap as Daniel Bryan's given Brian Kendrick. Jack Gallagher.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. Like when I saw him on the what they call it? The preview.
Bracketology.
Yeah, the bracketology. I was like, what is this guy? Like I had no idea. I knew he was going to be interesting and I was either going to love him or oh my god, why am I watching him? But yeah. Jack Gallagher, awesome. Yeah. I cannot wait. Once I saw he was going to be on Raw, I'm so excited.
I'm gonna say Tozawa.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool getting to see Tozawa on that platform. It's amazing to me. He's definitely one that sticks out, and phenomenal matches all around. I think all three of his matches in the tournament are great matches.
All right.
Yeah,
Matt,
I definitely fell in love with Tozawa, and I loved what little I saw of Fabian Eichner in that match against Jack Gallagher was just so cool. So cool. They were both just absolutely awesome.
Mendoza.
Brian Kendrick.
Brian Kendrick has been so good this tournament. I really wish that the finals was Brian Kendrick versus Zack Sabre Jr. Like, and Kendrick had different body part injured in every round, so like his arm's sore. Like he's taped up like frickin' Cesaro, and he's going against Zack Sabre Jr., who can literally bend any joint in any direction. Like that, that would have been great, but it's still gonna be a fun show next week.
Absolutely.
And by the way, next week we will be doing a wrap up right after the finals for Cruiserweight Classic. We're gonna be watching it live, and we will be going into it right afterwards. And then, all right. So, is there anything else you guys wanted to touch on before we dive off here?
I do have one thing.
Yes.
I do want to give one more props to Swann and oh god, now my blank. It's getting late. Oh, I forgot the guy that's Swann. Perkins, TJ Perkins. Yes, he's in the Final Four. But I want to salute them for the best use of dabbing in a wrestling match ever.
Oh, that when Rich Swann dabs, it got the biggest pop of the entire tournament.
But even like Perkins, like the first time he gets in like a leg lock, and he goes to dab and like Swann immediately reverses. Like the second he shows him a little bit of his head, he just like grabs it and like reverses him right out of it. So good.
And I want to say, when Perkins got the tap out and he immediately broke the hold and went to hug Rich Swann, said, "Oh my God, so good!" Like honestly, because I was talking to you guys getting ready for the show, I missed it. Because I was watching it, and then all of a sudden I heard the bell ring. And I'm like, "Whoa, wait, what just happened?" Because I just saw them hugging. I'm like, that doesn't look like a very painful submission hold.
Yeah.
I rewound like 10 seconds. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
But that finish happened so quick. So quick. Like, it didn't even register when it happened. But I love that he broke the hold so quickly and just went right into, like, they didn't even have, like, the raising the arm hug. It's just like, nope, hugging you right after the match, bro. Right after the match.
Sorry I beat you up, best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, Eamon, where can the good people of the internet find you?
Uh-oh. Nope, that's
Uh-oh.
enough of him.
Yep, Eamon froze out. All right, you can find him at Eamon2, please, on the Twitter. Also, you can check out the company he's involved with, Inspire Pro Wrestling, at Inspire Pro Res on the Twitter. Matt, how about you? Where can people find you on the internet?
At Mainstream Matt with 1T. And please go check out IndieWrestling.us. Catch up with some of your favorite indie darlings. Our good friend, my best friend, indeed my tag team partner, The Riz, is now the proprietor of the Around the Indies column. So hopefully he's going to be taking it to even bigger and better things. Like Bobby Roode hitting NXT, The Riz is going to take Around the Indies to new, better, indeed more glorious heights than it's ever been before. But anyway, go check it out. Go support it. IndieWrestling.us. There's a lot of other fantastic independent wrestling there for sale. Digital downloads for you. I think there's a brand new compilation of some fella named Claudio Castagnoli. He threw a mean European uppercut back in his day, and there's a fine new compilation of his travels down here in Western Pennsylvania. Some deals with some fella named Chris Hero. I guess they had a tag team. I guess they were all right back in the day.
I believe they're the Royalty of Wrestling or something like that. It was something like that.
They did some things. Anyway, yeah, go check it out. There's a lot of great stuff going on down there. IndieWrestling.us, Mike.
All right. And you can find me at MadMike4883 on the Twitter machine. Also, I know it's late, but if you want to follow my live tweet of the first episode of Season 3 of Lucha Underground, look at Mayhem Show. Hit up the hashtag MM. I am going to be live tweeting spoilers as soon as I hit the stop button on this podcast because it is late and I need to watch me some goddamn Lucha.
I can't wait.
And speaking of Lucha Underground, Matt and I will be back here in these respective chairs tomorrow night. We will be talking to the co-executive producer, Krista Joseph. We are going to try and squeeze every bit of spoilers out of him we can. He will tell us nothing because he's really good at doing that. But if you have any questions for us, if you have deciphered his emoji tweet, Matt?
No.
Matt?
No. It's Melissa Santos. That's what it was. All of it.
Fair enough. Okay.
That's what that was.
She is the dragon and the snake. I got it.
Yeah, no, but seriously, folks, if you have any questions and you're watching this and you have time to get it in before we're back here Thursday evening, at Mayhem Show on the Twitter, use the hashtag MidweekWar, and we'll be looking for that tomorrow night, and we'll drop a question or two on El Hijo del Cueto from the masses, and we'll see if you have better luck than we do.
Absolutely. I'm also going to put in a pinned post on the Facebook group. So if you have any questions there, I'll be reading that too. We want to try and ask him as much stuff about the upcoming season of Lucha as humanly possible. All right. So for Matt Carlins, for the disembodied voice of Eamon Paton somewhere off there in Texas, I'm Mad Mike, and this has been your Midweek War!